This episode took me 5 months to make. Welcome to a new episode on the single player world. In today's video, we'll be taking care of a huge project, but we'll do that later in the video, because I want to take care of some stuff in the port town first. Since we finished the first part of town, I wanted to get a plan down for the next. The new district will be a poorer part of town. A lot of day laborers will be there, small craftsmen, sailors, just the poorer people of the city will live in that district. And because there is a bit of a status difference in between the two parts of town, I kind of want to divide it with a small little wall and then, of course, the main road. The houses will be a bit smaller than what we've been building so far, and the roads are gonna be defined by, well, the houses themselves, and that will result in a lot more alleyways, tight little spaces and spots, and certain dead ends. All in all, this layout is a bit more cramped than the previous district that we've built. Now that we have a layout, we can finish up the end of the pierhead as well. After building up the base to even out with the existing one, I started laying out the base and the lower floors of what is to become a lighthouse. While building up the tower, we're switching from bricks to a mixture of wood types, and on top of it, to cap it off, I decided to use my limited knowledge of redstone to make a circling light out of some lamps, observers, and some other bits and bobs. To top it all off, we're adding a deep slate tile roof, accented with some deep slate bricks as well. With the plan of our next expansion done, we need to do a lot more resource gathering. The big problem here is that I only have one beacon, which is now at the starter base. So let's change that, will we? I started this project back in April on a live stream, and we did most of the manual digging right there and then. If you want to see that kind of content, just hit me up on Twitch. I'm live 2 days a week. Now, let's jump right into what I would call the boom boom plane thingy, and start getting rid of everything that's spawnable within 128 by 128 area of the fortress. When I started this project, I thought it'd be a fun little project that would take me a couple of weeks at most. Now, I know that wasn't that good of an assessment, because I spent the better part of 5 months flying behind a redstone machine, getting rid of lava and ancient debris, which surprisingly very sparse in that big of an area. And after a long time, I finished the hole, and I could start working on the farm. Starting with the base in the collection system, I made sure to have enough space for skelly heads, and some bones and coal as well. The rest and the overflow will be dropped in some red hot chili juice and be destroyed. Then we're gonna add some walls, some interior structural support, and using that I am creating a safe space for if I want to AFK at this farm. For the farm itself, I went with a racework design since I have access to wither roses, and with the platform done, I made sure to add in our friend the piglin named Witherbait in on a stream and got a pupper as well. And that's kinda all I need for the farm. Most of the time spent on this is digging out, but the farm itself is pretty easy. And now I have limitless lamps. I've been hanging around for like a half an hour, and this is pretty good. That'll give us plenty of beacons to start with. Now let's get to the end, use the end portal trick to defeat the wither. And about 15 withers later, I can craft 15 beacons. So I can put one at the terracotta quarry, one at the starter base with its own little on and off trigger. I'll put 4 at the raid farm just to give me regen, resistance, strength and haste. The last one goes to the port town, which still needs a name. Come to think of it, I still need to name most of my towns and builds. If you have any ideas for a build or a town name, let me know in the comments, and I can always pick one out. With all the beacons set up, I can get to some resource collecting, and I might do that for the next few hours. Every time I fly over the city, I kind of feel like something's missing from the plan. And I think adding at least a wall around the city, we might change it later, but having a small wall around the city that divides up the districts in the middle might actually help my creativity spark again. So the wall will be in 2 sections. We'll have a new wall that's very slick. It's newly built, so there's not a lot of damage to it. I'm gonna continue using the smooth stone as like an accent block and on top, while the old wall will be still in the same material, so it's a lot of stone and a lot of stone brick. But I'm gonna put in some andesite, some cobblestone, some normal stone as well, just to give it a bit more of that rundown, old, almost deserted texture. I also added in 2 towers in the middle of town. And that's gonna be the point where the old town and the new town like kind of divide. So the old town is gonna be where all the rich people are, or at least the families that have been living in this town for ages, so they've come up with quite a bit of wealth. And the new town, or the new part of town, is gonna be where all the incoming people that come to work for the richer people are living. But with that being said, I think I'm gonna have to end the video right here. It's been a crazy one. We have gotten a lot done over the last 5 months, that is. If you guys like watching this kind of stuff as much as I like doing it, subscribe. It's free, and a like is always welcome. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!